Welcome to another episode of The Drop, the weekly show that lets you know the hottest games coming out across the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the PC, the Switch, whatever they might be coming out on, we will talk about them right here. This week, a very big week with Crysis Remastered hitting the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Of course, it is out now on the Nintendo Switch. On top of that, the sequel to an indie classic, Spelunky, Spelunky 2, is going to be coming out on PlayStation 4, and PES 2021 is finally hitting, sort of. So let's go ahead and dive into this week's top video game releases. To kick things off, Crysis Remastered is coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. The classic first-person shooter from Crytek is back with the action-packed gameplay, sandbox world, and thrilling epic battles you loved the first time around. Now with remastered graphics optimized for a new generation of hardware. What begins as a simple rescue mission becomes the battleground of a new war as alien invaders swarm over a North Korean island chain. Armed with a powerful nanosuit, players can become invisible to stalk enemy patrols or boost strength to lay waste to vehicles. The nanosuit's speed, strength, armor, and cloaking allow creative solutions for every kind of fight, while a huge arsenal of modular weaponry provides unprecedented control over playstyle. In the ever-changing environment, adapt tactics and gear to dominate your enemies in an enormous sandbox world. When the original Crysis launched back in 2007, it set a new precedent for what to expect in terms of graphical fidelity in gaming. Even today, not looking at the remake that's coming out this week, the game holds up relatively well when it's running on its highest settings. Now, of course, this week's remaster takes all of that to another level. Even on the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X, you are getting some very impressive performance, and on top of that, for those that are dedicated to PC gaming, there is a Can It Run Crysis mode where it maxes out your computer's hardware. The devs really have covered all of their bases with this remake. It's also worth mentioning that ray tracing is actually available for Crysis Remastered on the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. That is software-based ray tracing, so it's not going to be the hardware-based ray tracing that you get with next-generation graphics cards and what you are going to be getting on the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. But it is still very impressive to see that this is even possible on current generation hardware, albeit the most powerful iteration of current generation hardware. But of course, Crysis is a classic, and if you want to dive back in this week, it is launching on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC, and on top of that, it is also out now on the Nintendo Switch. Next up, Spelunky 2 is coming out on the PS4, and it's coming to PC soon. Spelunky returns in this greatly expanded sequel to the original roguelike platformer. Meet the next generation of explorers as they find themselves on the moon, searching for treasure and missing family. Spelunky 2 builds upon the unique randomized challenges that made the original a classic, offering a huge adventure designed to satisfy players old and new. Explore the game alone, play locally with up to 4 players, or, for the first time, join up with friends online to unravel its mysteries together or battle it out in competitive arena modes. A bigger and more dynamic world with so much to see and do. Spelunky 2's world is even denser than the one in the original game, offering many more areas, characters, traps, and items, as well as new ways to interact with them, and for them to interact with each other. The world has expanded in other ways too, with branching paths and multi-layered levels adding a third dimension to the classic 2D platforming. Animals can also be tamed and ridden, and dynamic liquid physics create new challenges and make the world feel extra reactive and alive. Build a community and make friends. Back in base camp, characters you unlock will mill about and relax between runs, offering encouragement and advice. As you explore, your camp will expand and develop into a thriving little community to welcome you whenever you need a break from exploring. While there, you can also access shortcuts and practice your moves in safety. And finally, the game is yours to explore. Spelunky 2 is not just about getting good and beating the game, it's more than that. It's an endlessly replayable playground to experiment in and find your own way, creating stories against the backdrop of an expansive, deeply interactive world filled with secrets. The more you play, the more the game becomes yours. The original Spelunky is a game that remains popular to this day, and for good reason. It is incredibly fun. The replayability is basically endless when it comes to what is possible within the world of Spelunky. Spelunky. Now, Spelunky 2 has been in development for a very long time, and it is going to be launching as a PlayStation 4 console exclusive, so take that into consideration when you're planning your purchases. But with that being said, the game itself looks like it takes all of the elements of the original and continues to flesh them out in a way that every fan is going to look forward to. So if you want to dive back into the world of Spelunky and get even more of that action, Spelunky 2 is launching this week on the PS4, and again, it's coming soon to Steam on PC. Next up, WWE 2K Battlegrounds is coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC. The world of WWE is your battleground with all new over-the-top, in-your-face arcade action as your favorite WWE superstars and legends battle it out in outlandish interactive environments around the world. Compete in your favorite match types with an arsenal of exaggerated maneuvers, special abilities, and devastating power-ups, including Steel Cage, Royal Rumble, Fatal 4-Way, and more, as Mauro Ranallo and Jerry the King Lawler call all the mayhem. Are you ready to enter the battleground? And now some bullet points. Brawl without limits. Take your favorite WWE superstars and legends into battle with unrestrained, unhinged, and in-your-face pandemonium. Pull off over-the-top moves and use your special abilities to destroy your opponent while battling in interactive environments. Battle it out across the globe. Play through an all-new story mode told through original comic strips alongside Paul Heyman and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and help lead the charge to find the next WWE superstars. Battle as unique and colorful new characters against established WWE superstars to test your mettle and show your skills while unlocking new characters and battlegrounds along the way. It's your battleground. Make WWE 2K Battlegrounds your own with tons of customizable parts as you create, customize, and edit your own original created characters and battlegrounds. There are loads of match types. Wage war in a wide variety of your favorite match types with fun new twists including Steel Cage, Royal Rumble, Fatal 4-Way, and all new Battlegrounds Challenge. And of course, local and online battles. Compete in online tournaments or stake your claim as king of the battleground and survive the online melee against players from around the world. Plus, battle it out in local multiplayer and dominate your friends. Do not go into this game expecting a WWE 2K21. That's not what this is. Instead, go in expecting something along the lines of NFL Blitz or NBA Jam. It takes a cartoon-stylized approach to a sports title, which is something that lends itself to a player like me that's not super into the world of sports, but that also enjoys the overall rules of the game. So, in the world of WWE, this is a fun, lighthearted take on the sport, and I look forward to seeing how people react to it. But if you do want to dive in this week, WWE 2K Battlegrounds is launching on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC. And to round out today's show, we have eFOOTBALL PES 2021 coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. eFOOTBALL PES 2021 Season Update delivers all of the critically acclaimed features and gameplay from eFOOTBALL PES 2020 that was awarded the best sports game at E3 2019, plus more. Boasting the latest player and club data for the new season, the game also includes the exclusive UEFA Euro 2020 mode and content in advance of the rescheduled real-life tournament. As the PES franchise celebrates its 25th anniversary since its debut in 1995 and over 100 million copies sold, Konami invites football fans all over the world to join us once again as we head out onto the pitch for a new action-packed season of football and prepare for the future. I want to make this very clear. This is an update that cost $30. This is eFOOTBALL PES 2020. That is literally what they say in the description. So, going into that, how do we feel about this new setup? Of course, the pandemic had an impact on the release of PES. On top of that, the new consoles are forcing Konami to rethink their development strategy, and they're probably putting more resources towards next year's game, which is going to launch on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. I kind of like this new setup. If they took this idea and applied it to a Madden or an NBA, there really wouldn't be any degradation in quality of the game itself, because we've all seen screenshots of assets that have been unchanged from year to year. You see a Madden 19 banner in Madden 20. You see Madden 20 in 21. They're all the same game built on top of one another, and it's kind of not great to have to pay $60 each year to get access to these games that are essentially the same. So for $30, you get a couple of new modes, a roster update, not a bad deal. So if you want to celebrate the 25th anniversary of PES, then you can check out eFOOTBALL PES 2021 when it launches with its season update on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. That rounds out this week's episode of The Drop. If you enjoyed this one, drop me a like down below and let me know what you think about everything we talked about here today. Which games caught your eye, or are you going to be saving your money for those next-gen consoles when they launch at the beginning of November? Would love to hear your thoughts. But until next time, you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll talk to you soon, and peace.